Hi, guys, and welcome to the latest installment of Shitty Webcam Trivia. Let me turn off that one light that really interferes with the webcam. All right, yeah, still on webcam mode, but good. Sorry for the slightly later than usual start, but it looks like everyone's here on the stream. I can see plenty of comments in the chat. Oh, I hope I didn't give you too much of a fright there, Matt. Yes, unfortunately, webcam doesn't distinguish too much between orange t-shirts and milky white flesh. Yeah, we're running a little bit behind today because we were commiserating the England loss yesterday. Wah, wah. Penalties, always a tragic way to go out. But what are you going to do? We'll be back next year. So, hope everyone is ready for 8 rounds of trivia. Let's see what we've got coming up this evening. All right, so it's the online pub quiz, part of our summer series, the every other week summer series. We've got round 1, general knowledge. Round 2, Italy versus England. Round 3, Pixel Pop. Round 4, what just happened? What just happened? Round 5, you're a gem. Round 6, 10 things I hate about Shrew. Round 7, Prison Break. And final round, as always, will be more general knowledge. But as we did begin the stream a couple of minutes later than usual, I think we'll just get straight into it. We'll get straight into round 1. I think hopefully people are all on. I think there was a little bit of a mix-up with the forms, but hopefully everyone is got their team name registered and all of that stuff, and we'll be ready to go. So first up, round 1 is some general knowledge. And our first question: on this day in 1804, Alexander Hamilton was shot dead in a duel with which vice president? Was that John Adams, Aaron Burr, Thomas Jefferson, or John C. Calhoun? Who was the vice president who shot Alexander Hamilton? If you've seen the musical, then you'll know. If you haven't seen the musical, you might also know. All right. Question 2. What was unusual about Olympic gymnast George Louis Iser, who won 6 medals in a single day at the 1904 Olympic Games? He was 11 years old. He had never competed in gymnastics before. He was drunk while competing, or he had a wooden leg. All right, question 3. In how many US states do the majority of the population support daylight saving time, according to a YouGov poll from this year? Is that 0, 8, 14, or 21? So this is each individual state polled in how many, just as a little hint, there are 50 states in America, and how many of them did the majority of the population support daylight saving time? What do you think of daylight saving time? Do you support it? Maybe we could do a quick straw poll in the comments, and you can get the vibe of public opinion. That might influence your answer. All right, then question 4. The Tampa Bay Lightning beat the Montreal Canadiens in 5 games to give Tampa 2 major sports championships within a calendar year. So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers won the Super Bowl back in February, and the Tampa Bay Lightning just won their second banned daylight savings time. Okay, well, we can see some strong opinions rolling in already. Yes, and Tampa Bay Lightning won the second Stanley Cup on the trot. What was the last city to achieve this feat before Tampa? So what was the last city? What would be in America or Canada? No, I don't think Canada has any city that is in all 4 leagues. So your list there is San Francisco, Boston, Los Angeles, or Philadelphia. Which of those 4 cities was the last to achieve the feat before Tampa? So, daylight savings time not popular in the comments. Will that influence your answer? And question 5: Will this sample size of two people? Oh, 3 people. Let the stars guide us all day. Bit of a problem with that one. Question 5. Which of the competing standards of playing card suits eventually became the modern international standard of clubs, spades, diamonds, and hearts? So the playing cards that probably most of us are the most familiar with. Are they German suited, Swiss suited, French suited, or Italian suited? So there were previously a bunch of different ways you could suit your cards depending where you were in Europe. Which one became the international standards that you'll find in casinos across the world and close-up magic shows? So those are your 5 questions. They will cycle around on the screen there. Let's get those answers in and get everyone off the mark. Oh man, sore head on me today. Anyway, we watched the game. The game is actually on a very reasonable time here, 2 in the afternoon. Then we'd also downloaded the recent UFC as well, so we did a bit of a watching both of my sports countries lose one after the other. That was definitely a fun afternoon and evening. So we've got three anti daylight saving times comments. Anyone else in the comments want to speak up in defense of daylight savings time? Or is it universal hatred among our audience? I've got to say, I think they should do away with it. Or maybe they could do one where they only fall back and they do that just once a year until you just looped all the way around. I guess eventually you would gain a day, lose a day, whichever way. You could do it either way around. I don't care. Could you correct for leap days that way? No, it would. Well, I guess it depends on how often. You just have to put the right number of leap hours in. All right, so we are just waiting on one team, I think. So if that one team is you, make sure you've hit that green submit button at the end, and yeah, double check that you've selected an answer for each of your 5 questions as well. It's multiple choice. You may as well guess something. No reason to leave a blank on this round. We're not going to penalize you for wrong answers. Ban daylight. I thought you ban daylight. I misread your comment there before, Matt. Yes, ban daylight indeed. Yeah, I think daylight savings time is stupid, and I'm skeptical that it even was good at the thing it was supposed to be good at when they started it like 100 years ago or whenever. But definitely seems even more stupid now. Okay, so is everybody in? Otherwise, I think we'll get the 30-second timer up because I think we've been just waiting on one team for a little while now. Oh, that's well, that means everyone is in. All right, so let's see the answers before we see the scores. So first, Aaron Burr shot Alexander Hamilton from the hit musical Hamilton. George Louis Iser had a wooden leg. He did not have a separate event for physically disabled athletes in those days, and competing against 2-legged gymnasts, he still got 6 medals in one day. Quite the performance. 0. No one likes it. There was not a single state where the majority of people supported daylight saving time. Los Angeles were the last city to manage this. In fact, so Tampa did it 2021. Los Angeles did it in 2020. The LA Lakers won the NBA championship, and the LA Dodgers won the MLB championship, won the World Series. And French suited cards. So clubs, spades, diamonds, and hearts are French suited cards. So let's see who got the most of those. Who's in the lead? Well, let's see how many teams you've got in tonight, and who's in the lead after round 1. Oh, we're having a little bit of an internet issue. This has been kind of coming on and off during the week. We thought it was fixed, but scoreboard is not updating the last team. That might have to be added manually. So that last team, don't worry, I don't know who it is yet, but we'll get those scores in there. We will keep track of them. but it might have to get done manually, so it might be a little bit slower than the others. Okay, cool. So here we go. Oh, Comax Enterprises +4s. +4? Oh, I see what's happening there. It's not counting them properly or something. Okay, but it looks like after one round of questions, it's a tie at the top. Cormax has 5. Oh, so Cormax should have 5 points. Cormax in the lead with a perfect first round, which apparently our scoreboard did not anticipate a perfect score and is having trouble displaying that. So it's Cormax in the lead with 5 points. The Van Goghs and Big Bag of Cans are tied in second place with 4 points. So terrific marks for those 3 teams there. And then we've got Pine Tree with 3, Frankenbeans with 2, and Flying Solo with 1. All right, so the Google Sheet is correct, but somehow it isn't publishing live in the website. Okay, we will. Jessica can see the correct scores, so she can be whispering them in my ear, and I will just have to tell you guys until the problem gets fixed what's happening. So we'll if it comes down to it, we'll just have to maybe have a longer intermission than usual and hammer it out then. But with that, let's not hold up round 2 any further. Italy versus England. Didn't get the result that we wanted yesterday, but we've still made a little trivia round to commemorate the game. This was written before we knew the results. This was written before the game. In this round, I'm going to give you 5 different inventions, and you've just got to tell me, was this invented in Italy or in England? Simple enough. So, what's our first invention? Modern banks. Were modern banks invented in Italy or England? So, different forms of banking have existed throughout history, but economists kind of agree that modern banking, the form that banking exists in now, can be traced to either England or Italy. But which one? Okay, invention number 2. The corkscrew. Was the corkscrew invented in England or Italy? Number 3. Viagra. Where was Viagra invented? All right. Question 4. Eyeglasses, spectacles, glasses, whatever you'd prefer to call them. Where were they invented? Your options are England or Italy. And finally, question 5. Lava lamps. Where were lava lamps invented? The classic desk decor. Was that an Italian or an English invention? So each of these are pretty much 50-50. So I would say not worth pondering, unless you think you definitely like, oh, I've heard this somewhere before. May as well just give it a guess. Or there's some you can probably work out. Some you might just actually know. But with some of the wackier ones, you might just want to give it a guess. I'm sure there's some logic you can apply to it. But each of them, you've just got to choose England or Italy. All right. So, anyone else watch the penalty situation? We went around to Jessica's brothers to watch it on the big TV. He's never watched football before in his life, but he found my pained reactions quite amusing. Oh, tell me about it, Kelsey. It was hard. Just as soon as it went, as soon as the whistle for 90 minutes blew, I knew it would be going to penalties. I could feel them coming. The air was heavy with penalties, and yeah, England had a great first half, but I'd say Italy looked the better team for more of the match. I'm sure you did, Shane. All right, and our spot's appearance means that everyone's in. Let's see the answers. It's a little Italian greyhound. Um, Italy, modern banks invented in Italy, in Genoa. The English invented the corkscrew, as much as the Italians love a bottle of wine. Old beer bottles were also sealed with corks, and that was the impetus behind the invention of the corkscrew. England, it was also the home of Viagra. Eyeglasses, or eyeglasses with corrective lenses, I should have specified, were invented in Italy. You'll sometimes hear that eyeglasses were invented in China, but they didn't have corrective lenses. They just used like smoky quartz and stuff, that kind of like sunglasses more than eyeglasses, really. Um, yeah, but correct eyeglasses with corrective lenses for people who are short-sighted or long-sighted were invented in Italy. And the lava lamp was invented in England. So let's see how people did with that one. If there's lingering scoreboard issues, Jessica will just message me directly the correct scores so I can read them out to you. But it looks like she's got everything fixed behind the scenes. What a whiz. Corn Max still in the lead there with 9 points. The Van Goghs in second place, a clear second place with 8 points now, with a Big Bag of Cans on 7, and Pine Tree Inc. on 6. So a nice little progression there. Frankenbeans and Flying Solo tied with 3 points each, but Corn Max holding on to the lead. I'm just picturing that one scene from NCIS where it's like two people typing on one keyboard. All right, round 3. We've got Pixel Pop. We're going to show you the covers of five famous album covers, but they've been pixelated. And you just need to tell us the name of the album and the name of the artist. So that's a 10-point round. 10 points up for grabs here. You get 1 point for the name of the artist, 1 point for the name of the album. So let's see our first pixelated album cover. All right, so there's the pixelated album cover. Name the artist and the album. You know, maybe if you got the picture on your phone, you could try holding it really far away, and it might become more familiar. Maybe just squint. So you might be able to recognize tunes, but do you remember the album art that went with them? All right, next one, the artist and the album title. Similar level of resolution. All right, let's have a look at the third album. Might be a little bit of a connection problem. There we go. So that's album number 3. So I think artists is probably easier to get than album in each case because you know most artists have more than one album, and you're like, oh God, I remember they had one like this, but I can't remember which album had that cover. Similar resolution to my webcam. Yeah, I've become pixelated just to be thematically connected to the round. That's why my image quality has been so shitty. All right, album number 4. I mean, this one you could probably squint and make it out. So that's the 4th of the 5 pixelated album covers. You got one more. All right, so that's the 5th one there. You've seen all 5 album covers. They've been pixelated. Can you tell me the band or solo artist responsible for each album and the title of each album? Yeah, I think, even if I just kind of lean back in my chair and squint a little, I'm like, oh yeah, it all comes together. Maybe I should have gone with a coarser resolution of pixels, been a bit more harsh. Although that probably would have been way too harsh. It's weird, that, isn't it? I said, yeah, it's weird, that, isn't it? And don't call me Mike. But okay, so it's a typing in the answer round. So might take a little longer than the previous couple of rounds, but get those guesses in. Arspot will do his best to keep up with any spelling mistakes. Well, he won't be able to. Jessica's going to just have to double check for him. But we do try to program him, like we try to anticipate what some common spelling variants might be and build those in. If you like, this is kind of a throwback to real old when you had like an iPod Nano. What was the smallest one with a screen? And it's showing the album art on this like teeny tiny little screen. If you just try to like cast your mind back to those days in the kind of early to mid 2000s, that mindset might help you. Or any other brand of MP3 player that you possibly used in that era. My hair is wild today. Got my shark. This is Harold. Hello, Harold. Harold's from the Philippines. Hello. I just realized how much the field of view of the webcam's a bit bigger, so you're seeing a bit more of the background. I had a Creative Zen. I was also not an iPod person. I had a Creative Zen. Got a lot of use out of that thing. I can't remember how much it held. It was a Creative Zen MP4 player. I remember like I went backpacking and just like watching movies on this teeny tiny screen, just like it's not ideally built for movie watching. Yeah, and a Zune. Oh, we've got all the third party MP3 players in the chat. A Rio. I'm not even familiar with a Rio. All right, Arspot's Halo. That means everyone's got their guesses in. Let's see what the answers were. So, Fleetwood Mac, Rumors was the first one. After that, it was Born in the USA by Bruce Springsteen. Then we had Enema of the State by Blink 182, however you pronounce that, Blink 182. Metallica, Master of Puppets. I mean, you could pretty much make out the word Metallica even when pixelated. They got it on there nice and big, plus very distinctive shaped logo. But yeah, you have to remember that it was Master of Puppets. Can't see the puppet strings in pixel form. And the last one was The Carter 3 by Lil Wayne. Again, you can't see that the baby's got face tattoos in pixel form. So kind of things that might be useful. But let's see how many people got them anyway. Oh, so we had a lot of people in the Trivia Mystery family were not using Apple iPods back in the day. Market dominance was not as complete as I imagined. Okay, let's take a look at the scoreboard. Big Bag of Cans got a perfect 10 on that round. Amazing. Great job there. Putting Big Bag of Cans in first place with 17 points. Van Gogh's just 1 point back on 16. Corn Max with 15. So it's exactly as close as it was last round, just with the top three reversed. But it's still 1 point difference. Pine Tree Inc. Has 13 points after that. Flying Solo with 7. And Frankenbeans with 5. Sorry, 2 points from that round. But good job on the perfect round there, Big Bag of Cans. When you can get a perfect round on a 10-point round, you know things are going your way. So going into the intermission, we have our media round, which is what just happened. We're going to show you 5 very brief clips, just reaction shots, really, from various movies. So we're going to see just kind of either very exaggerated or funny or just iconic reactions from movies. And you got to tell us what the character is reacting to. So you don't need to tell us what the movie is or anything like that. Just what is the character reacting to in this there'll be little 5-second clips. Sony NW MS70D network Walkman. Yeah, no, it sucks. I mean, stick with the Walkman brands. That makes sense. But what's all that other stuff? Come on, Sony. All right, let's see our first clip. Okay, so what was that? Oh shit! A reaction to? Was it his baseball just smashed through his teacher's window? A huge dog just jumped over the fence, or the school bullies just showed up on bicycles? Okay, let's have a look at the next clip. Okay, so what's just happened to Matthew McConaughey there? He just watched his family grow old without him. He just had a near-death experience, or he just realized that he can't save planet Earth. So what is that emotional outpouring a reaction to? Next up, we have question 3. Which I had to include purely for the gorilla reaction there. What was everyone reacting to? A chimpanzee just stood up on 2 legs, a chimpanzee just fired a gun, or a chimpanzee just spoke English. All right, next one. Okay, what was that a reaction to? He just learned that his wife is being held hostage. He just learned that he was kept hostage by his estranged brother. Or he just learned that his lover is actually his long-lost daughter. And our 5th and final clip.
Oh my God!
Okay, so what's just happened that he's reacting to? Just great reaction there. Goblins turned his friend into a plant and then ate her. Ghoulies poured a magic potion into that town's water supply that will turn everyone into more ghoulies. Or gremlins ate his high school's mascot dog. So 5 cinematic reactions there, and 5 events or things that are being reacted to. You just need to choose the right one. And I don't know if videos are embedded in the forms, but we're going to give you an intermission now anyway. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hopefully we'll just double check that all of our other forms are working. And we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
He's a tough man, gonna show you what it feels. He's a strong man, tell him what you need. He's a strong man, he can't do anything. When you need help, it becomes something real. He's a tough man. Tell him now, tell him what you need.
I will never fail again. After all I've been through, after all I've made it through. Oh, you can trust every word I say, every word I say. I'm gonna keep my head up high, and you can see in my eyes so much darkness I can fight. Oh, I won't forget what I have faced. I won't forget what I have faced.
He's a tough man, gonna show you what it feels. He's a strong man, tell him what you need. He's a strong man.
whenever you may face the gate. Oh, your strength will flourish from your pain. Hey.
Tough man, yeah, tough man. Yeah, strong man. Oh, no, no. Yeah. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need. If a tough man gonna show you what it feels. If a strong man, tell him what you need. If a strong man can't do anything when you need help, it becomes something real. If a tough man, yeah, tell him now, tell him what you need. If a tough man's gonna show you what it feels. If a strong man, tell him what you need. If a strong man can't do anything when you need help, it becomes something real. If a tough man,
Flourish from your pain.
tell him now, tell him what you need.
You better be considered alive.
All right, guys, we're back. I think almost everyone finished that round while we were on our little intermission there, and I think everything is running smoothly here now. Those early hiccups have been ironed out. So if you're the last team just waiting to get in, now's the time to do it, and we'll reveal the answers. Unfortunately, it's on me. I didn't think to make answer reveal videos, so I'm just going to have to tell you what the correct answer is. I won't be able to show you, unfortunately. But let's get those answers in, and we'll see who's in the lead. Okay, so everyone's in. First up, we saw a clip from The Sandlot, and the answer there was a huge dog just jumped over the fence. The Beast, the junkyard dog. He just got on his baseball back triumphantly and escaped. Didn't think the dog would come after him. Okay, number 2. We saw a clip from Interstellar that is kind of gone memey, kind of GIF / meme, like reaction GIF of crying Matthew McConaughey in the movie. He's watching years worth of messages from his family come in that were sent over like a 30 or 40-year periods, but he's missed all that time because of time dilation on his spaceship. Then Caesar just said no. Caesar, this first spoken English word by a chimpanzee in the Planet of the Apes universe. Yeah, so it establishes that they're learning to speak in this one, but then in the sequel, they're still using sign language. I don't know. Make it more Planet of the Apesy quicker. That was what had just happened there, though. All right, number 4, that was Old Boy, and in that scene, he's just learned that his lover is actually his long-lost daughter. He's been kept locked up for like 15 years, and just go double check. Sometimes it doesn't show one or other of the answers that you've selected, but if you selected something, we'll be able to see it even if you can't see it on that page. Yeah, so that's what just happened there. He was locked up. He was in a weird hotel for like 15 years and then gets out, and then the lady he meets who helps him and becomes his lover, it was all planned. It was all planned for them to meet. It's his long lost daughter. All right, then number 5. Goblins turned his friend into a plant and then ate her. That's from the movie Troll 2. There's no troll in it. There's goblins in it. And they're vegetarian goblins, but they will still murder you by turning you into a plant before they eat you. But yes, another classic kind of meme clip there. All right, so let's have a look at the scores. Any second now, we'll have a look at the updated scoreboard. And the Van Goghs are back on top with a perfect round. Oh, everyone's trading blows with the perfect rounds. The top three have each had one. And the Van Goghs are current leaders with 21 points. Big Bag of Cans just 1 point back with 20. Cormax Enterprises is still in the mix with 17 points. Even Pine Tree Inc., we're only halfway through. 15 points is definitely still a competitive score at this stage. Flying Solo with 8 points, and Frank and Beans with 7. Yeah, no, I rely on Jessica to tell me everything that's going on. I can see like what you can see. I've got another tab with like the questions in, but that's it. All right. So let's move on to our next round, round 5, first round of the second half. After yesterday's game, we all know that the second half can change things. There'll be no extra time though, although tiebreakers exist, I guess. That's kind of equivalent. That's the penalty shootout of Trivia Mystery. Round 5, you're a gem. So we're going to show you 5 famous faces and also some gems, precious stones, semi-precious stones, other kind of jewelry stones and materials that they may or may not share a name with. You just got to choose the one that they share a name with, basically. So it's similar to the flower round we did a couple of months ago, or maybe more than that. That was kind of like spring is here round, and we're well into summer now. Okay, so you got to do 2 things here. You got to recognize the famous face, and then choose the appropriate gem or similar. So who is that, and which one does he share a name with? Okay, next one, and same again. We've got a famous person, and we've got 3 gems that they might share a name with. All right, let's have a look at the next one. Who is that? What's her name? And what does she have the same name as? Do you recognize those 3 gems or gem adjacent things? All right, next up, we've got another famous face, 3 more stones, minerals, whatever you want to call them. Which one does she share a name with? And the 5th and final. Okay, maybe not a famous person, but a famous character. And again, 3 more stones to choose from. So, if you don't recognize the character or person, maybe just your gem knowledge will see you through and you'll be able to work out, well, what's most likely to be someone's name? What's the most namey one of those? Or it could be the reverse. You could recognize all of the people and characters and then use that to work out, oh yeah, I think I know what that probably looks like. It does kind of look like it, doesn't it? A bit shinier. As if your rabbits have been eating shoe polish. But I will not tell you what any of those gems and stones are. That's for you to know. That's That's trivia rules, baby. So let's see who can match what to what. And we'll see if we get another lead change. We've had lead changes on we've had like 3 or 4 lead changes already. It's been crazy. It's been crazy at the top of the table. Okay, so it's multiple choice. So you just need to choose one of 3. And we're waiting on one team. So get your guesses in and we'll see what the answers were. Did you recognize all of these people / characters? Some probably a bit more famous than others, depending on the type of media you are most interested in. And our spot's here, that means everyone's in. Let's see the answers first. Okay, so that's Billy Crystal. So you had to avoid the quartz and the opal and select the crystal. Crystal, just glass with high lead content, essentially, is what crystal is. Okay, so Billy Crystal of Monsters Inc. fame. And then we've got Neil Diamond. You need to choose the diamond, avoid the ruby and the sapphire. Neil Diamond. And we had Amber Rose. So not pearl, not jade. Amber was the answer there. Then Emerald Fennel. She's got a real Pokemon trainer name. You know, she's got a grass type gym. She's also an actress and the director of the award-winning Promising Young Woman. And her name is Emerald. And finally, after the Pokemon trainer having name Emerald Fennel, we have the actual Pokemon Onyx. So he's not named Bismuth, he's not named Amethyst or Geode, however you'd interpret that other picture. He is named Onyx, like Onyx. Was Neil Diamond's name on his guitar? Well, you noticed. I did not notice that. So, I mean, you deserve the point for noticing for sure. All right, let's see how people did there. There are fewer people with gem names than flower names, made it a little bit of a challenge. But let's see how people fared. Van Gogh's got a perfect round again. Oh boy. Great job there. Extending the lead there slightly over Big Bag of Cans, who got 4 points. So 26 points for the Van Goghs. 24 for Big Bag of Cans, 21 for Corn Max, 18 for Pine Tree. So with 3 rounds to play, they're all definitely still in the mix. And then Frankenbeans with 10, Flying Solo with 9. All right, so off we go to round 6. But a cracking start to the second half from the Van Goghs. Round 6, 10 things I hate about Shrew. So there was that trend in the 90s and 2000s to make teen movies, teen dramas, teen comedies out of works of classic literature. So we're going to give you 5 such movies. You just need to tell us what the work of literature is that it's based upon. So famously, 10 things I hate about you. is based on The Taming of the Shrew by William Shakespeare. So all of these are similar. So first up, we got Clueless. Was Clueless based on Emma by Jane Austen, Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte, or Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte? Our next movie is Easy A. Was Easy A based on Anne of Green Gables by Lucy Maud Montgomery, The Scarlet Letter by Nathaniel Hawthorne, or The Crucible by Arthur Miller? Number 3. She's All That. Oh, my joke spelling made it in. Should have warned you about that, Jessica. Was it Don Quixote? It's not spelled like that. Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw, or The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde? Okay. Okay. So that is just on me. It's correct on the form. Thank you for that, Jessica. Then, She's the Man, Amanda Bynes classic. Great performance from Vinnie Jones in this one. Was that based on Les Miserables by Victor Hugo, Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, or Great Expectations by Charles Dickens? And finally, Cruel Intentions. Is that based on Dangerous Liaisons, or La Liaison Dangereuse by Pierre Chodlos de Laclos? Was it based on Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence, or was it based on Justine by the Marquis de Sade? So we've got our 5 teen movies, each of them based on a work of classic literature. But which was based upon which? Which is your favorite of the? I mean, this is a whole genre of teen movie. There were tons of these. Some of them we couldn't include because they're just kind of a bit on the obvious side, like that movie O that's based on Othello. A lot of them are Shakespeare, but there is some diversity in author for sure. Yeah. But I think of these. I mean, Cruel Intentions is great. I really fancied Sarah Michelle Gellar at the time that movie came out. But also, She's the Man is just really funny. It's a good early Channing Tatum role. David Cross is good in it. It's just some great comic performances in, what's otherwise kind of a throwaway teen movie. Okay, everyone's got their answers in. Let's see how. Oh, before we see how you did, let's see what the answers are. Shrew in a Shoe. All right. Clueless is based on Emma by Jane Austen. Easy A based on The Scarlet Letter. She actually is kind of a bit meta because they are actually reading The Scarlet Letter in English class in the movie. Like Cousins Dangereux. Then we've got number 3. She's All That. It was based on Pygmalion by George Bernard Shaw, which became My Fair Lady, which became She's All That. She's the Man, based on Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare, kind of classic comedy of errors and like pretending to be someone of the other gender and all of that. Classic Mulan situation. And finally, Cruel Intentions is based on Dangerous Liaisons or Liaison Dangereuse. All right. How do people do there? I think era-wise, pretty good movie round for our demographic. And yeah, pretty high scores for many of the teams. It's down to a 1 point lead for the Van Goghs, 30 points there. Big Bag of Cans closing that gap with another perfect round, 29 points. Cormax still within striking distance with another strong performance, 25 points for them. And Pine Tree Inc., difficult round there. 20 points. Has that taken them out of contention? It's still mathematically possible, but would have to be a real knockout final 2 rounds for them. Then we've got Frankenbeans with 14 and Flying Solo with 10. So it looks like it's really anyone in the top 3 teams to win it. Here we go, round 7. Okay, so Prison Break. So it's Bastille Day in a couple of days. Bastille Day, kind of a strange holiday. The thing that it's like it commemorates is kind of a weird one for a national holiday. Basically, the Bastille was a prison that was specifically for like the king to be able to just say, I want this guy to be in prison without being charged with a crime. The storming of the Bastille was actually because there was also an armory, and the people wanted to arm themselves, but there were a handful of prisoners inside at the time. And because of the nature of the Bastille being just like, I'm the king and I want to put people in jail, it was became kind of a political symbol. Anyway, very tangentially related to prison breaks. So we've got a prison break themed rounds out of that. You can kind of see how the gears turn in here. So we're going to you're going to imagine that you're listening to the radio and it announces an escaped prisoner nearby. You're going to have to match each report to the fictional prison that the prisoner has escaped from. So I will tell you, it's a matching round. You choose from a list of 5. So the ones you'll be choosing from are Corel Desert Prison, Arkham Asylum, Shawshank Prison, The Village, and Azkaban. So let's see our first announcement. Authorities have issued a warning that a violent criminal has escaped from a local facility. The man is responsible for dozens of killings and should not be approached under any circumstances. The killer is a white male with green hair and was last seen wearing purple. This prisoner has made multiple escapes in the past, leading local police chief James Gordon to announce an investigation into security at the facility. So match that to the fictional prison. All right, next one. A state prison today issued an alert regarding the escape of a long-term inmate. The Maine man was 28 years into a double life sentence received following his conviction for the murders of his wife and her lover. Initial investigations report that the prisoner may have escaped through an insecure sewage outlet. Inmates are being questioned. More on this story as we hear it. Okay, next one. So this is number 3. North Wales police have warned of the escape of a potentially dangerous individual from a secure facility yesterday. The fugitive is a white male aged 35 to 50 and was last seen wearing a distinctive black blazer with white piping. It's likely that he'll be heading towards London. The fugitive is a former intelligence operative and should not be approached. Sightings of a yellow Lotus 7 should also be reported. Okay, number 4. The Ministry of Magic have issued a statement warning of the escape of one of Britain's most notorious prisoners. The fugitive was arrested for multiple murders as part of a terrorist attack during the aftermath of the tumultuous events of 1981. The fugitive is described as thin with long dark hair. He is also able to assume the form of a large dog. Members of the public are advised to report any sightings to the Aurors. And our 5th and final escapee. The management of the Golden Saucer Amusement Park have issued a warning that a dangerous terrorist has escaped from a nearby penal colony and may be responsible for a recent spate of attacks at the park. Guests are being urged to stay in their hotel rooms while Shinra peacekeeping forces are brought in to resolve the situation. The killer can be easily recognized by his prosthetic left arm, which is a machine gun. Okay, so we've got our 5 escaped prisoners. You just need to match them to the prisons from which they escaped. So, depending on these matching ones, they can be quite interesting in terms of what they do in the penultimate round. They could set us up for a close one. Yeah, this is totally Bastille Day themed. It makes complete sense. Yeah, I don't know what book Les Cousins Dangerous was based on. I think it was an original screenplay. Is round 8 also from last time? Okay, so people may be getting directed to the wrong round 8. We're going to double check that. Don't worry, we've got new questions for you. We wouldn't do that to you. Just a bit of a chaotic preparation session last night. Let those games get away from us a bit. What would be the worst fictional prison to be imprisoned in? I think that one from Face Off, where you have to wear magnet shoes. That would be really annoying. Okay, the link to the round 8 that you should be going to is in the chat there. So if you're watching the stream and you can't get to the correct round 8, if you're getting misdirected to the one from 2 weeks ago, click on that link and it'll take you to this week's round 8. I think that's a cool concept for the for a fictional prison, though, the magnet shoes one. I always think like, oh yeah, magnet shoes. That's from The Rock, right? Because they go to Alcatraz, but it's unrelated. They don't actually go to an active prison in that movie. I think we're just waiting on. Oh no, everyone's in. And Con Air. Why? What was it with Nick Cage and doing action movies that kind of feature prisons heavily in that period of time? I've never made that connection before. Oh, that prison in Alien 3, the prison planet. Have you seen the like original? Like that's another Jodorowsky's Dune situation. He was going to make Alien 3, and he had some wacky ideas for that movie. So look into that if you haven't seen it before, and if that kind of thing interests you. First one was Arkham Asylum. in Gotham, Batman, the prisoner being described was the Joker. And yeah, Arkham Asylum is where the Joker gets sent by Batman fairly often. Then Shawshank Prison from the Shawshank Redemption is in Maine. And, it was Andy Dufresne being described there, convicted of a double murder, escaping through a sewage pipe. Next up was The Village from cult classic TV show The Prisoner. So number 6 was actually supposed to, the show creator, who is also the main star, had in his head canon that number 6 was actually a character he'd played in Danger Man, a spy show that was on before The Village came out. And in his plan for the show apparently was that he'd escape at the end and he'd just go on to have different adventures in subsequent seasons of the show that never got made. And so instead you end up with this kind of ambiguous and much debated ending. Azkaban, so Sirius Black, the escape of Sirius Black from book 3 in the series was described there, and it turns out he was innocent of his crimes. But yeah, Azkaban was the prison, the magical prison. And Corel Desert Prison, it's under the Gold Saucer. So Gold Saucer is kind of like this big thing, big kind of mounted structure in the middle of the desert in Final Fantasy VII. And at desert level, you've got the abandoned mining town of Corel. I just can't help myself. Indeed, I cannot. And the abandoned town of Corel has been left to basically become a prison that you can't escape because it's in the middle of the desert. And Dine is the guy who escapes when you're there and shoots some people. All right. So he apparently just knows the way in and out. Actually, he doesn't exactly escape, but he does some murders while you're there, and you get blamed for them. And several perfect rounds there. So that means it's unchanged at the top in terms of order. Van Gogh's still in the lead with 35 points. Big Bag of Cans just 1 point back with 34. Cormax Enterprises +4s with 30. So all of them mathematically could end up at the top there, including tie breaks. Pine Tree Inc. with 23. Frankenbeans with 19. Flying Solo with 12. Oh yeah, exploding heads blowing off. That's a common thing in fictional prisons as well, right? Because Escape from New York, that Snake gets an exploding implant. The Suicide Squad guys, they're prisoners, and they also have the exploding head thing. I guess you could say Battle Royale. That's basically prisoners, kind of stretching fictional prisons a bit there, and they have the heads blowing off thing. All right, so general knowledge. So yeah, no explanation needed here. It's a general knowledge round, and it's pretty close. So yeah, I think get the tiebreaker ready indeed. So question 1, what is the second most populous continent? So I think we can all guess what the most populous continent is. But what is second most populous? Is it Europe, Africa, North America, or South America? Okay, number 2. Which chemical element is responsible for the characteristic monotone yellow hue of older streetlights? Is that carbon, copper, sodium, or argon? So, old yellow streetlights where it just washes all the color out of everything because you've only got one wavelength of light. Is that carbon, copper, sodium, or argon that's responsible for that effect? Number 3. Following his victory in the Wimbledon final, Novak Djokovic is one tournament away from completing a calendar year Grand Slam. In fact, if he wins in Tokyo, he'll get a calendar year Golden Slam. Who was the last player to achieve this in singles tennis? Is it Roger Federer, Serena Williams, Andre Agassi, or Steffi Graf? So we're not including doubles tennis. Who was the last player to achieve a calendar year Grand Slam in singles tennis? Calendar year Grand Slam is when a player wins the French, Australian, and US Opens plus Wimbledon within a calendar year. All right. Number 4, Dr. Pepper claims to be a proprietary combination of how many flavors? 9, 23, 35, or 66? Is the Golden Slam available at Denny's? Yeah, it's just a Grand Slam breakfast with an Olympic gold medal on it. Or is it served on an Olympic gold medal? Have you seen some of them? From some of the years, they make them like insanely huge. So how many flavors in Dr. Pepper? And our final question is, which of the following is not botanically classed as a berry? Is it an olive, a banana, an avocado, or a pumpkin? So 3 of those are classed botanically as berries. One of them isn't. So which one isn't? Okay, so let's get those in. I was trying to see if that you can find a reliable list of what the flavors in Dr. Pepper are, but there's conflicting lists, and some of them seem more likely to be correct than others. But the one that I think sounds likely is from a very weird little Dr. Pepper fan site. All right, get your answers in. I didn't say the number, did I? I was just kind of spacing out. Oh well, if I just gave everyone a free answer, then I guess I did. Hopefully I didn't say the number. At least it affects everyone evenly. Okay, answers are in. Let's reveal the answers. Africa is the second most populous continent after Asia. Sodium, it's sodium vapor, those old yellow lights. It's a very, very narrow wavelength band, so everything kind of looks like a sepia photograph under them. Then after that, Steffi Graf. Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, so you have to go all the way back to Steffi Graf in like the late 80s to find the last person to do this in singles tennis at the highest level. 23 flavors. There's a weird list here. Almond, vanilla, blackberry, apricot, blueberry, caramel, pepper, anise, sarsaparilla, ginger, molasses, lemon, plum, orange, nutmeg, cardamom, allspice, coriander, juniper, birch, and prickly ash. That's apparently what mix the ratios there to get Dr. Pepper flavor. And then an olive is a drupe. The other 3 are berries. And an olive is a drupe. It's a hard stone in the middle makes it a drupe. I guess, I mean, avocados kind of have a stone in. I can see that it's like not the same as a stone in a olive or a plum or a cherry. 23 flavors of pepper is basically what Dutch cuisine is. All right. Oh, look how cute. Cute little weenie dog. So thanks for playing, guys. I think next one is going to be in 2 weeks. The next full length one, we will have our next speed trivia in a week and a half. And then our next one of these is going to be in 2 weeks, which I think the Olympics will be underway by then. So we might do kind of an Olympics themed thing. We haven't started writing it yet, but possibly Olympics themed. So if you want to know what to practice, there you go. Although you can see from what I got out of Bastille Day, it might not be that helpful of a clue. Okay, let's reveal the answers to the last round. I don't think we have slides for this, do we? Or do we? No, we do. Oh, I just did the answers. Let's reveal the. I don't know why I am a bit sleep deprived. Let's reveal the scores. Scores are different to answers. Drum roll, please. Oh, and the 1 point lead is maintained for the Van Goghs. So 3 points pretty much across all of our top scorers. So that order is unchanged. So in reverse order, Flying Solo finishes in 6th place with 14 points. Frankenbeans are in 5th with 21. Pine Tree Inc. in 4th place with 26 points. And then to our podium places, Cornmax Enterprises, bronze medal with 33 points. Big Bag of Cans at silver with 37. And the Van Goghs take gold with 38 points, which is a great score. Fantastic score there. It's pretty high scoring among many teams this week, which is always fun, keeps it exciting. And congrats to the Van Goghs on their victory. So we'll see you guys again in a week and a half for our speed trivia. And then we'll see you again in 2 weeks from now for a probably Olympic themed trivia. All right. Enjoy the rest of your week, guys. Enjoy the summer. If you're getting nice summer weather, enjoy it. If you're not, hopefully you'll get some soon. And yeah, see you in a week and a half. Bye, guys. Thanks for coming.
He's a tough man, gonna show you what it feels. He's a strong man, tell him what you need. He's a strong man, he can't do anything. When you need help, it becomes something real. He's a tough man. Tell him now, tell him what you need.
I will never fail again. After all I've been through, after all I've made it through. Oh, you can trust every word I say. Every word I say, I'm gonna keep